to Nudge Electric, and I'm here today with my good friend Matt, and we're going to talk about some wrestling. How you doing today, Matt?
Not bad, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, what do you think about the upcoming Wrestlemania then?
I'm kind of a bit nervous about it because I don't really know how it's gonna all shake out. I mean, my biggest issue, besides the match card and the disarray that seems to be in at the moment, is the fact that it's in the new MetLife Stadium, the second week of April in the Northeast. You know, that stadium has no top to it, no dome, no anything. Plus, it's only the second week of April. We could have a snowstorm for all, for all we know. It could be the first WrestleMania to ever be in the snow.
Well, that would be interesting.
Oh yeah, it would. It would, but nobody that I know of has really brought up that idea of what if it, forget rain, what if it snows? So that's one of my first big red flags about it.
Right.
What do you think about it so far?
I think the card's a bit. I suppose it's got that repetitive edge, hasn't it? Because it's Triple H and Brock 2, Rock and Cena 2, and God knows what they're going to do with CM Punk, bless him.
Yeah. I mean, and now with the rumors being out there that Taker is hurt and most likely not going to be able to make WrestleMania, it's like that takes out one of their staple ideas. So now, what are they going to do if Taker can't make that spot? And I can understand CM Punk's frustration because he's been champion for a year, and now since Rock's won the title, he's just gonna be shoved off to the side. That's not right.
No, I think they were planning on doing Punk Taker, weren't they? But if that's not happening, then maybe they're going to put Punk in with Rock and Cena and make that a threesome.
They could. They could. The only thing that worries me about that, from my standpoint, and for those of you who are not aware, I have been an independent wrestling promoter for many years, so I come from it not only as the perspective of a wrestling fan, but also as a promoter. I just wanted to say that as kind of a disclaimer from here on out, is that the thing that bothers me about putting CM Punk in a triple threat is the simple fact that he only, one of those men is apt to be feeling like a third wheel. And who's that person going to be? I don't think it's going to be Rock. Because Rock never wants to feel like a third wheel. It's not going to be Cena, because Cena's not going to want to give ground to Rock. And it's not going to be Punk, because Punk doesn't want to give ground to either of those two. So I'm just nervous that even making it a freeway, that might become a cluster because each person is trying to one up the other.
Yeah. But that could make it interesting.
It could make it interesting. And if that's what they decide to do, then great. But I see both sides of it. I see the positive side where it could turn out to be a wonderful history-making WrestleMania match, but I also see where it could turn out to be one of the most convoluted, clustered matches of all time. So, that's just my thought on possible three-way is it could be really, really good, or it could be really, really bad.
Well, I've still got my fingers crossed that they might bring in Austin.
Yeah,
And give us Punk Austin.
yeah. That, if Steve came back for one night, for one match, it would be for Punk. And if I was Vince, I'd be calling up Steve right now saying, how much is it going to cost me to get 20 minutes out of you with CM? That's what I would be doing if I was Vince. So, that's my take on that.
I heard they were saving it for WrestleMania 30, though.
Yeah, they could be, but the simple fact is, would you rather wait a year and hope that Punk doesn't get severely injured within the next year, or would you do it now and give the fans something that not only that they want, but most are not expecting?
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting, and I think it'd make this WrestleMania extremely special, having Rock, Brock, and Austin all on the same pay-per-view.
Yeah, it would, because,
But in the same token, do you think Stone Cold would be happy playing second fiddle to The Rock? Because he wouldn't be the main event. Because the main event would be Rock Cena.
At this point, I think Steve, it wouldn't matter as much to him whether he was first or second chair, so to speak, because he's already made his mark. He already is the biggest superstar in this generation's history. So I don't really think ego would have anything to play in it. Now, if this was 99, 2000, 2001, ego would have everything to do with it. But time brings maturity, brings understanding, brings perspective. And that's what I think. When people say Steve's not going to want to give Rock and Cena that spot, I don't think Steve really cares. If Vince says, Rock and Cena are one, meaning main event, and you and Punk are two, he would say okay. You know. So, you know. But here's my question. Do you think that they, meaning WWE, made a mistake by taking the Money in the Bank ladder match out of WrestleMania?
Yes, absolutely. I think the Money in the Bank was so integral to WrestleMania that it got all of the younger guys onto the card, and it added something that was fun and unique and fresh to WrestleMania. And I think losing that is actually hurting WrestleMania.
I would wholeheartedly agree with you, and I do. I've spoken to you off of videos saying that what I would do, if you recall, I said what I would do is I would make a Money in the Bank match happen first at WrestleMania. And then what I would also do is I would still have the pay-per-view in the summer as well. And what I would do is just instead of having two Money in the Bank opportunities at the Money in the Bank show, just do one Money in the Bank ladder match at the pay-per-view and one at WrestleMania.
Yeah, so and you could do it as the contract being for any title as well, instead of it being specifically for either the WWE or the World Heavyweight.
Exactly. Because WrestleMania now, and especially this year, because of Undertaker possibly being out and whatever else, you're missing that factor now that fans look to every year. Because starting at WrestleMania 21 back in 2005, from when they stopped doing the Money in the Banks and at 25 was the last one?
I think so.
You know, every year from 21 to 25, which isn't that long, but every year within that time span, once the Money in the Bank was a hit, fans, me included, was looking at WrestleMania and knowing we were going to have a Money in the Bank ladder match.
The one that everyone's saying is going to be the next Savage Steamboat is Jericho Ziggler.
Yeah, but it's not going to be, in my opinion, it's not going to be Savage Steamboat-esque. It's going to be Ziggler Jericho-esque. And I love wrestling simply for the discussion factor, but it's simple fact of nobody is ever going to come close to Steamboat and Savage. And the reason why that's never gonna happen is nobody ever expected that match to be as great as it was.
Yeah, I think people are hoping Jericho and Ziggler's going to be the show stealer.
Yes, that's what it is. It's hope. Because now that you don't have HBK on WrestleMania anymore, everybody is hoping that there becomes a talent in WWE that's developed that is the next Mr. WrestleMania, that is the next showstopper, show stealer. But I don't think that that's possible.
I don't know, I think Ziggler has the potential to do it.
He has the potential to do it. The simple fact is does Chris Jericho have the patience nor the willingness to drag one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania out of Dolph Ziggler? Because it's going to depend.
I don't know, Jericho's very 50-50, isn't he? When he puts his heart and soul into something, then it is epic. But when he's not that fussed, you can tell that he's not that fussed.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, when I look at Jericho now, I think of him as 1 foot in the pool, 1 foot out. Like, I don't see him fully being there and dedicated to it when he's there, which bothers me because Chris always said that if he wasn't fully invested in it, then he wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It makes me wonder. The other thing I was thinking about in my head was, wouldn't this be an interesting match at WrestleMania? You do a 6-man tag, and you have the 6-man tag be the Shield versus Kane, Daniel Bryan, and either Ryback or I keep forgetting. I just had his name and I lost it. Oh, Sheamus. Sorry. One of those days.
Well, they did Brian Kane and Ryback versus the Shield at TLC, didn't they? Which was a really good match, I must admit.
Yeah, and I don't recall TLC because so much stuff has happened in between that time for me. So if that happened and I forgot about it, I apologize. But yeah, I really think that something needs to happen with. I really think a 6-man needs to happen at WrestleMania with the Shield involved with, 3.
I think they are doing a 6-man with the Shield, but I can't remember who they're against. Let me look it up a second.
But the best thing would be if the Shield doesn't lose and if they go over. Because I think a lot of fans are wanting the Shield to go down. And I don't want them to go down yet. Because I don't think the payoff as as I would be, if it was my decision. I don't think the Shield has hit its apex yet. So, I would have the Shield pull out a victory at WrestleMania and keep them rolling for a while longer. Because I think they need a little more momentum before they do anything. The one thing WrestleMania related that I wanted to mention was, if I had my way, Jim Ross would not just be commentating one match at WrestleMania, he would be commentating the whole thing. Do you agree?
Oh God, yeah, I'd love to have Jim Ross on commentary.
Because I could care less about any other wrestling show on WWE's schedule. I just think WrestleMania is so important and so special to those of us that love wrestling, that eat it, sleep it, breathe it like you and I, that you have to kind of give us something. And what I know a lot of fans like you and I want is, we want somebody besides King in that announced position, King or Matt Striker, that knows what the hell they're talking about.
To be fair, JBL's doing quite a decent job.
I mean, again, JBL's doing a great job. And if it ends up being King, JBL, and Cole, I'll deal with it, because King and JBL will bail Cole out.
Yeah.
But as I've told you many, many, many times over the years, I don't like Cole whatsoever. I don't like his style. He's been there for over a decade and still doesn't know a lot of the moves. I mean, it just, from a promoter standpoint, that bothers me to no end, and I don't know why it doesn't bother anybody else.
I think it does. There's quite a few people who, and if you look in the crowd, you'll actually see the signs of G, Y, no, GDYC. God damn you, Cole. And the signs go up whenever he fucks up. God damn you, Cole.
Well, I mean, seriously. I mean, there's been times where I wanted to shut it off because he just bugs me to no end. And if, because of the people that that I've told you that I talk to in the business, because I'm a part of the business, I always ask, why hasn't anybody given Matt Striker more of the reins than he has? Because
I got the impression Matt Striker said something or did something that put him in the doghouse.
He may have, but still, he will be the next generation JR.
Wow, that's quite a compliment.
What?
I said, wow, that's quite a compliment.
And what? Well, I say that because, working in the Northeast independent scene where I started, you know, I've met Matt Striker. I know him personally. I've worked with people that work with him. I've worked on shows that he's worked on, and he really is just like JR. He is a wrestling encyclopedia.
Mm.
He knows. You could ask him anything, and he knows it. And he's a true blue wrestling fan, just like JR.
Yeah.
And that's where I think that's the biggest thing where Cole misses. Is that, yes, Cole's been with the company for over a decade. But whenever he's commentating, I don't feel the same fandom from Cole that I felt from JR or that I feel from Matt Striker.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And that is the most crucial, unspoken piece commentary. Is that you need somebody that is as invested and loves the product as much as the person watching it on the television.
Or at least someone who can portray that and get that across.
Yes.
Because the problem with Cole is he can, when he gets the moves right, he can reel off the moves. But it's just, there's very few times where he's genuinely into what's happening. And you can kind of hear that in his voice. It's like, oh, he did a scoop slam. Oh, he did a power slam. Oh, he's pulling him off the ropes. But there's no passion to it.
Exactly. Which, I mean, every single time JR did or said something, I know I would get excited because JR was excited.
Mm-hmm.
That excitement came through the TV screen. And I don't get that with Cole, which bothers me. Which is why I think they need to bring JR back for WrestleMania, but don't just have him do one match. Ask him to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because that JR is not only still the voice of WWE, but he's the voice of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, when I go back and I look at old WrestleManias with Vince McMahon commentating, as much as I love Vince, and I do for what he's done for the wrestling business, Michael Cole reminds me of Vince McMahon in that way. Where, yes, Vince loves wrestling, but he doesn't. His excitement seemed contrived, and it's contrived because he knew everything that was going to happen.
Mm.
And like I said, Cole has that same problem with the contriving of emotion.
Okie dokie. So to sum up, your main thoughts on WrestleMania and what you think in general.
To sum up, yeah. They need to keep everything as is, as far as Rock, Cena. if they're gonna make it a triple threat with CM Punk, fine, but everybody needs to know that when they go out there, they're on equal footing and try not to make it a cluster and respect each other, and just have it be a good show and not a mess, and definitely, like I just said, have JR commentate the whole thing.
Cool. Okay, that's it for today. This is Nutty Rock Chick, and that was Matt the Boss. I'll link you his YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll try and upload this video onto his channel as well, so you can go and watch this on his channel. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Love you lots. Bye.